time for Measure Twice.
Welcome to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors and Joel Graber from Graber Customer Modeling. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential, and you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply, everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops. With the showroom now open in Granger next to C. Kramer Interiors and Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. That's, good old Dino. We need to bring Dino in here from Hoosier Hardwood Floors.
You're absolutely right.
Or maybe, maybe we bring a floor guy in. Maybe we get a blue collar look. Although Dean's blue collar.
Oh, yeah.
He's salt of the earth guy.
Oh, yeah.
I could see him with the elbow grease on the floor.
He still gets out there and does it some.
Yeah, you got to. You can't lose touch.
No. Gotta touch grass.
Not in the floor business. Underfoot kind of guy. I don't know if that's a thing. I may have just made that up. I'm sorry. But we love Hoosier Hardwood Floors. Saw a post from Graber about tile rug. Have you heard of tile rug, Chris?
Yes. Done them 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Or more.
It was kind of neat, though.
Yeah. Just put the inside in the floor.
Yeah. It was kind of a little out there it's cool.
Yeah, it's not something you see very often anymore.
No. But it was interesting. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was it wasn't, but it was. But to me, it reminded me like Greece. Like if you go to Greece, you'd see
the tiles are beautiful wherever they're from.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was neat. I like it. I like it a lot. But we're not going to talk about floors today.
Right, so what's happening is Rob is angling for that in his house.
Oh, tile rug?
I don't know if I don't have wide enough bathrooms to fit one. It'd be like a tile strip.
Oh, you can do them in the kitchen. You can do them in the bathroom. You can do them in the foyer.
Yeah. Don't you need a certain kind of look in the room, though? I have kind of a modern-y house.
That starts your look.
But my house is modern craftsman. I don't know what you can call it. It's just a house. You can't just do that in just a house.
Says who?
Chris is like, yes, you can.
Yes, you can. Why not?
He just about came out of his chair.
I know.
No, I'm very calm. I'm just sitting here just relaxed.
But doesn't the outside kind of have to match the inside?
No, who said that?
I've never heard Chris.
This guy. So you can have a different outside and then go in and it's...
Yeah. Well, you live on the inside.
That's true. That's true. When I was in the car business, people were like, I don't like that color. I'd be like, well, you're in here. You don't see it.
But I still don't like that color.
I think that, yeah, I guess you're obviously right. You have all the experience, but I guess and I can't be alone thinking that. I think people may feel trapped, if they buy a certain house that has to look a certain way on the inside based on the outside.
There should be some tie-in a little bit, but I've seen some beautiful old Victorians that have been completely modern on the inside.
It's
you can walk in, you're like, whoa, this doesn't look like I thought it was going to.
Right, two different worlds.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's wrong.
That's true. That's true. I'm not being judgy. You're right. Yeah. I need to change the way I think because then I'm
But if
limiting
I
myself.
bought a beautiful craftsman house that had all the beautiful woodwork, I wouldn't probably buy it with the idea that I'm going to take all that out and make it modern.
Or paint it.
I'd be working with it.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, now my house is a new construction type
but you can make it whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's right because I really can make it whatever I want because I don't have beautiful woodwork on the inside of my house. I have
But you could add it.
But I could add it. Right. And when did people start adding it? Because a lot of that is based on what was used to build the house. It had function, but you could see it. But now, if I were to do that, it would all be faux. It wouldn't be doing anything. It's
no, it wouldn't be faux. It would be adding some. You're adding some architecture to a plain canvas, a blank canvas.
The question is, when did people stop doing that?
Exactly, because it stopped. What?
In the mid-'70s, maybe.
Maybe before that, I think.
Was it?
Well, he had mid-century. It did a lot of wood and wood.
Yeah, and that lasted what to like quote unquote like 70.
I'd say this. I would say you're probably right. The 70s when we started just building. I don't want to call it a box because it's not. That sounds too generic or too. I don't mean it that way, but we don't put the details in that you used to see back in the 20s and 30s when you built a Craftsman style home. Mm-hmm. Probably because of cost. I would think that's probably a major reason why a lot of that disappeared.
So you're saying just like blank rooms, for lack of a better term, sheetrock or
drywall,
basic trim.
No basic trim, no, maybe a lot of times no crown molding, but I think that what I'm seeing now is more of that is being put back into the space, picture mold, things of that nature to give it some architecture, some personality, and that's how you can dress up just a plain space. So you say you've got just a modern house, but you could do things, add some architectural elements to the interior to give it its own personality, and it doesn't have to match the outside necessarily.
Right, right. You're right. Why you don't have to live with like the plainness of the wall, and
that's why I think you see a resurgence, especially when I look on like Instagram and those type of the things that we're seeing people do to their homes is adding those elements back in that have been gone for a while.
Because now that I'm thinking about it, Chris, when I'm looking at like the walls, I'm like, we have to get some pictures.
Well, yeah, that helps too.
But I don't. Yeah, right. Still need pictures, but it's like that won't have the same effect as if you put like some architectural
elements back into the house itself.
Yeah,
a lot of people are taking out the standard base and putting taller base trim in.
Yeah,
add some. Can add crown molding. Just little things like that can really add a lot of character to your home.
Yeah,
or to your rooms.
I've tried my hand at doing crown molding on my own, and I'm not good at it.
Oh,
my goodness, is that is an artwork.
I did some myself too. Yeah,
it's art.
It's something.
It really is.
I'm trying to remember from what cut. What'd you do to get that cut?
I need to you need to film yourself doing it right.
Well, I kept having the YouTube video up, watching it as I'm after each cut.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got to cut it upside down. Oh yeah,
upside down. Gosh, and it's like, and then you're like, wait, what's upside down?
Am I doing this the right way?
Wait, is this upside down?
Yeah, exactly. Oh wait, they fit. My inside corners, my outside corners were better than my inside corners.
My inside corners are better than my outside corners. My outside corners, one was winning the race. Every time.
Oh, yeah.
The fun thing is getting all the way around the room, and at the very last cut, they're not even.
That's the best.
That sounds like an issue.
Well, when the ceilings are doing this,
yeah, they're wavy. Even new ceilings are wavy. By the way, they're not exactly. They're better than older homes, but they're not perfect.
Yeah, well, mine,
you got an old house.
Plaster, and it's like there could be a 3/4 of an inch difference.
When you see good crown molding, admire it.
Yeah.
There's a skill.
Yeah, somebody, and you could do crown molding, right, Joel?
He's done it.
Yeah, you do a fair amount of that stuff.
I've had a little bit of experience with it. Yeah.
Do you like doing it?
Yeah, I enjoy it because
stresses me out.
As it goes up, when it's done, it's something that like gives an immediate feeling of satisfaction because you've made a drastic difference.
Yeah,
there is challenges to it, especially with the variations in your ceilings and your walls. Things aren't level and plumb typically, so you're dealing with all that.
Yeah, and I cannot offer any tips. I know that it was a struggle, and it was a very slow process.
Yep, I can't offer any tips either.
Yeah, I could tell you. I could offer you one tip: have some spackle or something.
No, I was going to say my one tip is hire it out.
Hire it out. Yeah,
I was say I'd heard an old timer one time say, "Just do your best and caulk the rest."
Caulk. That's what I was talking about.
That's That's
Yeah.
a terrible way to go about it.
But if you've done it and it's wrong, caulk is the only thing that's the only
Caulk
thing
is
left.
not always forgiving either.
No.
Sometimes it shows your mistakes more than it hides them.
You've
Sometimes.
got to do that perfectly too, or
Yep.
else you just look right at it. But when you see somebody who's good at it, it's really like, how are they moving so fast? It's just, to me, they're looking like they're going so fast.
It's who said it? Bruce Lee. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yeah,
If you don't have to constantly recut it, then it seems like it's going fast.
yeah, it's really kind of remarkable. But you have experience doing it, and you enjoy doing it. And to me, I wasn't enjoying it. I felt like I just had to do it. So it wasn't, that enjoyable. When we come back, though, we're going to talk about what we're supposed to talk about.
Oh, okay.
And we'll be right back. This is Measure Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling and Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential, and you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply, everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops. With the showroom now open in Granger next to C. Kramer Interiors and Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You could visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. We're moving away from talking about crown molding, but it is beautiful, and you can add to you can add it to a room. You don't have to have a house that you think is supposed to have crown roll molding or doesn't supposed to have crown roll molding. If you want it, it's a great way to dress a room up.
Yep.
Like all kinds of architectural things. But speaking of which, along those lines, just because we're the time of year, people are starting to move around outside. They might be hanging out outside. I've been seeing a lot of articles, probably because I searched something somewhere. I don't know. You know how that works. The algorithm has told me we should talk about this subject.
Okay.
But covering your deck or covering your porch, like not just covering it with like an umbrella. I mean,
Like a roof.
yeah, like putting a roof over it. The sky's the limit. I mean, you can go crazy.
Not if you put a roof on it.
What have you done I don't see no roof on this finger. Wait a minute, that's different.
Sky's no longer the limit.
No,
Yeah.
right, yeah,
The limit is now your roof.
That's correct. That's correct. But the first thing I think people think about are pergola.
Yep.
That's the first step, and you can get pretty darn elaborate with pergola.
I was thinking awnings.
No, yeah.
Well, awning is a form of covering it, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, where I'm from on the East Coast, the Jersey Shore, awnings are what they use, and then they
Retract.
and then and they're really, really expensive.
Yes.
I'm not because they're not supposed to be, because that fabric is like miracle fabric.
What? Yeah, because it has to withstand the elements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've come a long way, because as a kid, when the sun would start beating down on them, they would start to smell. Not bad, but they would smell like the fabric because it would start to heat up.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember that as a child, like when it was really hot out, it smelled like awning. Back then,
All those chemicals you're breathing in.
Yeah, because these are probably from the 60s, the awnings I'm sitting under. But nowadays it's way different. Vibrant colors, really sharp looking. I think it looks really cool, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking an awning at all. I feel like they kind of look neat and certain, if you have the right porch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just another way to cover.
Right. And there's a company locally that makes awnings, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the name of the
I
company.
can think. I know it.
But they're...
They even do the pergola with the awning on it that you can retract and close.
You're talking about like the fabric that goes in between the holes?
Well, they have, that's not even fabric. I think it's a metal louver that opens and closes.
Yeah, you can do the metal louvers, the aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
Those are sweet.
Is that a system that you add to a pergola that's already there, or do you have to get
No.
pergolas?
Typically, those are like their own unit. Or you can have it. You can design it and build it into whatever you're doing, but typically it's
It's a whole unit,
it's a
isn't
whole
it?
unit.
Yeah.
There's a picture that I did not. Well, I looked away from the microphone here. Forgot I was on the radio for a second. I could pull up a picture that I saw of. It looked like a wood pergola that in the center, like where the space is in the pergola, they had louvers that were flat, and you could make them like they could.
Yeah.
They went. Yeah. I don't know the degree, but you could get sun from either way. Like if the sun's over there, over to the right, you can louver them all the way up, and then they could go straight up, full sun, or all the way flat.
Right.
Yeah. And basically,
that way if it rains or
snows.
With those, like the aluminum ones are pretty sweet because like you can put lighting in them. They have a built-in gutter system. A lot, There's a lot you can do with them.
I didn't notice a gutter in these. I'm assuming there would be, or else it could actually funnel water to you if you're not considering the water.
A massive issue.
Yeah, if you're not considering water, it'll go to you. But the pergolas are pretty cool looking because it's kind of open air solution. You still feel like you're outside. I mean, that's the idea, right?
Yeah.
It still feels like an outside space.
Yeah.
And then you can get out of the sun. Is really, and then you can hang a fan from under them that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I never understood the fan that just like dangled out there and there was no cover, like no roof.
How do you put a fan out there?
You have like a piece of wood that goes over the top of wherever you're sitting.
Yeah,
I saw it a lot in the Bahamas. I think that's more to keep bugs away, but I don't know. But if you have a good pergola, you could put lighting or a fan under there. I don't know about a television or anything. That might be a little too open.
I mean, I suppose you could with the right television, but
like an exterior TV, they have them. I don't necessarily believe in them.
Yeah, same.
But you've seen exterior TVs?
Oh yeah, do them. We've done quite a few.
They're not like wide open out. I mean, I know they're supposed to be able to do that, but they're still like usually in a covered area, right?
Mm-mm.
No,
nope.
You just on the side of the house?
Just on not even on the side of the house. It was on a platform that was built outside.
And it can just take it.
Yep. Well, they're enclosed.
Yeah, right.
They're encased, so what should be weatherproofed. But no, this was outside on a flat wall that was built. So the house is here, and so it was built specifically for an very large outside TV.
Yeah,
but there was no roof or cover.
No roof.
Just out there.
Just so it was positioned in a way where there wasn't a glare. Apparently,
well,
it faced north.
It would be terrible.
Oh, I can tell you though, they've come a long way with handling sunlight. It's not perfect. Well, I mean, it's still an issue.
You're always going to have the issue.
But boy, they've really come a long way. It used to be if you were shopping for high-end TV, the first thing they'd ask you is like, where does the sun come in your house? Is this going to be in the sun? Because they'd point you to a whole different set of TVs because certain ones you wouldn't be able to see what's on the screen. But outside, there's a different glare outside. Like it's just everywhere. It's just
because you're outside.
But the cool thing is that if you do have a TV out there and sound system, you've extended your space like pretty well. Like you're taking advantage, especially in Indiana. Like take advantage of being outside when you can. You know, because we get a good winter here,
and it's coming back this weekend.
Right? So get out there and go handle. But we were talking about the pergola systems that like louver. And then if they don't louver, I never really understood a pergola because it doesn't really do anything. Like in my mind, I'm like, I just want to have something over my head so birds don't swoop in on me. I mean,
it does cut the sun.
Yep.
But it's not like if you want to be out of the sun, a pergola is not the answer.
Because I've seen people that you've seen pergolas where they put fabric in between, but to me that just is it's kind of a cool look, but gosh, I just hate to maintain that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because that's on a you only have a limited amount of time at that fabric before you're changing it.
Yep.
At our old house, we did a pergola and then grew honeysuckle on it, and that was really cool.
That is neat.
Yeah, they could sit there and
you could eat them.
Suckle.
Yeah,
suckled on that honey there.
They also smell really good.
Yes, they do.
That's kind of that's interesting. Did it fill in completely?
Yeah, it was probably 2/3 of it was covered.
That's
we had
pretty
two
good.
separate so that they would cross-pollinate. It was really nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's really great with the bees, too.
The
Yeah,
bees,
the hummingbirds.
Hummingbirds, that'd be
Oh, yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But it's the right bees, Chris. It's it's not like you're getting wasps.
It's not like wasp. Yeah, it's not wasp.
When you the crazy thing is that the honeysuckle probably handled rain decently too.
Yeah, I mean, I still
In the
wasn't
place that
out
it was
there in the
covered.
rain.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, it's probably not. It's probably still.
It's like being under a tree when it rains.
Right.
It definitely is. There's clearly a difference, but you're still getting wet.
Yeah.
Pass.
So we're kind of running low on time, but a pergola. If you want to put a pergola in your house, Joel, do you have to tie that into your house?
That can be freestanding. They're freestanding.
Like if you had a deck, and
Yeah.
you could just tie it to the deck. You don't need to
just
tie
some
it back
posts
to the
and-
house because
it
that's
doesn't have to be.
which is an advantage, right? You don't need there's not a lot to put a pergola up. You can, not a lot of engineering is what I was saying. I mean, there's a certain amount, but you don't
Yeah.
have to it doesn't have to be attached.
Yeah, correct.
And that's a plus, right? It saves some time and money, I suppose, and they're pretty handsome. You can easily hang lights from them, permanent or otherwise. It's kind of cool.
It really is. It can be a really nice look and feel to sit.
But what if
Use.
you want to go to the next level?
Oh,
Well, we'll have to wait. We'll talk about that when we come back. This
What is the next level?
Dun-dun. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors and Joel Graber from Graber Customer Modeling. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential. And you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you by Leatherman Supply. Everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops, with the showroom now open in Granger, next to C. Kramer Interiors and Hoosier Hardwood Floors. Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. We're talking about your outdoor space and covering it up. Giving it a little bit more zhuzh. Little zhuzh. A pergola is a nice touch, right? But there is a next level, and that's like actually putting a roof on it, covering it with something a little bit more substantial. And I think you could, make some really cool statements to your house if you add that. It can be really cool, and it could also add some time out there. I think you were going to say something, Chris.
Nope.
I thought you were going to be like, no.
No, I was just adjusting my seat, and I was thinking of a song.
Of course, we haven't had Chris sing yet, so we'll figure it
yeah,
out.
it's been a minute.
He was about to break into song
I was.
any minute
I
now.
just you said something, and I just
It's not Singing in the Rain, is it?
No.
Because when we were talking about pergolas, that's what popped into my head when it was like, still
If
got
you like
the
it,
ring.
you should put a roof on it. If you like it, you put a roof on it.
Oh, jeez.
That's just where my mind goes.
That's all right.
So
That's a good song.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. So, but you're right. If you like it, you should put a
Put a
roof
roof on it. Yeah, enjoy your outdoors.
Heck yeah. So I wanted to start. I showed the guys this. It's not minimalist by any stretch of the imagination because it's kind of elaborate roof. But let's say you have a great view, right? And you want to cover it, but you don't want to block the view. I showed a picture of basically just like a flat roof that's open and supported, but just basically gets you out of the sun, like open.
It's basically a pergola with a roof,
It's a pergola with a roof.
more or less.
Exactly.
It looked like it had a wall on the
back side.
Yeah, and using our imagination, if you had a home, right, you'd have to tie that in.
Yeah, that was definitely tied into the house.
So
I wouldn't think
That looked like it was freestanding to me.
No, I think it's attached. The roof line, I think, is attached to that.
Was it?
So-
I thought
Looked
it
like
looked
it.
like there was room in between.
but I guess that's my question. If
You
you're
could-
going to
that could
actually,
be
if
built
you're actually going to
freestanding.
put oops, sorry, I was cutting on you.
That's all right. I was just saying that could be built freestanding, but there again, like that was specific. Like the architecture of the house also that flat roof matched. You couldn't just do a flat roof.
So I guess that's my question.
I wouldn't. I mean, I
You
wouldn't
could,
think-
but
yeah, it would kind of look. Depending on the architecture, it could look
Strange.
wonky. Like,
So-
oh, hey,
But that's where I kind of wanted to start. If you're going to cover your deck and you're going to cover it with a roof, so that it's going to be tied into your roof, what are your constraints architecturally? Like, I know you can do whatever you want, right? It's your house. But, like, what makes the most sense? If you have gables, if you have a flat roof, does that change the style that you think you should have this roof be? Like, you can't just, you can, but for your eye, there has to be some constraints. Like if you have,
well, there are constraints within the building, like the structural aspects of things, depending on where you're tying in, side of the house, another roof. What are your heights? That can determine what you can do structurally.
you're also changing where rainwater goes.
Yeah, where water. Yeah, like you. So there are things there that have to be considered and
that's
figured out, and that will determine some of it.
because in this area I wouldn't want a flat roof.
No, absolutely not.
I'd want some sort of slope so that snow and rain all move off of the roof. Otherwise, you're going to have issues.
Right. It'll rest. And you don't want resting. You don't want that snow to be able to rest.
You don't want water puddling.
So you look at, based on your area, if you're in Hawaii, well, I guess they have a lot of water there too. But like if you're in like the Southwest, you can have a flat roof because
Easily.
you're only going to get a quarter of an inch of rain a year, But if you're somewhere in like a Florida or here,
That house looks like Florida.
It does.
It does look like Florida.
Miami. That looked like Miami or something.
but we have to assume that if you have your house in Florida and you have a flat roof covered porch, we have to assume that there's some accounting going on for water movement.
There has to be.
There
There has
is.
to be some engineering for water removal.
Just
They're
because we
moving that
can't
water
see
away,
it
yeah.
doesn't mean it's not there.
They're moving the water away. It's just, yeah.
Are
They don't. They also don't have to consider like snow loads.
right at all? Right, which
You
is
have a
real
big
thing.
flat roof. You have to account for in your structure for the weight of
Oh yeah,
the dead weight of snow.
and it's a
Like,
lot
it's
of
a lot of weight.
If you ever look at just for the heck of it, if you're at home listening, pull up on your computer what a square foot of snow weighs, and then
Just put it in your shovel. You'll know.
yeah, you shovel. Imagine 4,500 of those.
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight, and the roof over your deck would have needs the same load. It doesn't get less because
Right.
it's over your deck. It's got to be built the same. It has to have the same integrity. And you have to think about wind.
Oh,
You
yeah.
basically attached a sail to your house.
Oh yeah.
So how do you account for that? Is that how it's tied into the deck at that point now?
Yeah. There's code that you have to meet because depending on like the size of the roof and it has to meet certain shear wind. I can't remember exactly the name of it offhand, but
Now we're
there's
not
certain
in,
ways to tie it down.
we're not in hurricane zone, so we don't have
No,
the
but we get
100.
we get pretty strong straight line winds.
Yep.
And the uplift on that on a open roof that force is very strong. So you have to take that into account.
That's real. I mean, that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
real thing,
You got to make sure that's not going anywhere.
right? Because it'll be the first to go,
Yeah.
And then and I don't want to get too technical, but we do have to get a little technical to even talk about the topic because this is attached to the house. That means you're opening the roof somewhat, right? Like you can't just nail it to the top of the roof. You have to remove shingles.
You
or
have to
something,
remove
right?
shingles.
And it has to slide under there and like be
Yeah, it gets tied in.
and then
Structurally, you have to make sure it's hitting everything has to be engineered. Make sure that everything's appropriately able to carry the appropriate amount of weight.
yeah. I think when we're talking about covering your deck, it is 25% an addition You know, it's 25% of an addition that you'd be adding to your house. You're just not adding the walls and the floor.
Right.
But the roof, it's a real roof. It's not, there's no such thing as I'm just covering my deck roof. You know, like this is an actual roof. It's not, There's all kinds of parameters. I just wanted to get that straight because I didn't want people to think that we're just like, just cover that thing. You know, a pergola is that.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why they're popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And effective.
Absolutely.
If you're going to cover it, though, this is definitely a thing, like an actual architectural situation that you probably use a builder for, you know, to do. But getting back to it, there's all different kinds of styles. You can make it however you want, but it should fit into the roof line, right? That's what I was saying. Like, shouldn't it? It should look like it was meant to be there. The roof.
When you're tying it into the house?
Yeah.
Yeah. It shouldn't look like an add-on.
Right. Can you go metal? Can you have shingles on one roof and metal on the one that covers your deck?
Yeah.
As long as
long as it ties in properly.
Right. Color.
And just does it fit the look.
Right. Because it doesn't, you don't want people to be able to really.
You don't want to drive. Oh, why do they do that?
Yeah. That's the test I always give. That's the one thing Chris has taught me. You say that all the time. Like when we drive by, and I always joke with Lisa, like, oh, if you ask yourself why they do that, it was probably it's gone haywire.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you cover your deck, you've opened up possibilities that are amazing. And I guess my question is, let's say, are you necessarily never going to be able to cook on your deck now because it's covered? Did you just blow it because?
No, you can. I mean,
it's still
once
open.
You cover it, you can do like a really cool outdoor kitchen.
But what about the heat? Like,
I mean, you have to accommodate for that and take that into consideration, but it's not the thing. I typically am more concerned about is like any kind of smoke, because it will get trapped.
It'll hang,
and then you don't want to be out there. So you want to how is that being dissipated?
Right, which I think
moved.
If you're covering a deck, and we'll talk about this next segment, probably or patio. Sorry, I keep saying deck, but I mean any outside. Mm-hmm. You do have to think about air movement because you are going to limit the air movement because you just covered it.
It can.
Yeah. So when we come back, let's talk about all the possibilities once you've covered your patio. This is Measure Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Joel Graber from Graber Customer Modeling and Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential, and you're listening to us on Machinist News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply, everything windows, doors, countertops, and cabinets, with the showroom now open in Granger. I was just trying to change it up. I was getting cadency, like poet. Leatherman Supply. Visit them. It'll be worth it. Do I get an Emmy for that?
I think you do.
Yeah. All right, cool.
How's a daytime Emmy?
When we make eye contact and I do when I talk about our sponsors, I appreciate that. And Hoosier Hardwood Floors. Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You could visit them, HoosierHardwoodFloors.com, or go to the showroom because it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. There. Whew. I'm exhausted now. I need a break. We're talking about covering your patio or deck. And pergola is usually like the first, it's like entry-level coverage, but it's still awesome. And you can get...
I don't know if it's entry-level. Sometimes it's the appropriate thing.
You're right. So that is a great point. Because I think there are some things that lend itself better to pergola than full coverage. If you have like an area that's not necessarily attached to your house, that's kind of like pergola type thing. Although Chris was showing me, or us, what's the company? We can give them a plug. It's okay. Is it?
It's Walpole Outdoors.
Walpole
Outdoors.
They had some pretty freestanding things that weren't necessarily pergolas. It was just kind of like a pool house, that you could either have it totally enclosed or totally open with
the retractable screen.
Yeah.
And everything's motorized.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And they didn't look like they were so trendy either. There were a couple super trendy ones, but not everything looked trendy.
A lot of that stuff can just be basically classic because of what it is.
Yep.
Right, and you can get trendy. There were some that were kind of like, very trendy looking.
You get rated
but
cabinet fronts.
Yeah. But there were some that were very classic. And you're right. Pergolas, I say pergolas entry because it can be very basic, where it's just four poles and
Yeah.
It can be very basic.
But then you can get as elaborate as you want with retractable screens and louvers up top, and it can be very appropriate, especially if you have a house that you can't tie into the roof or it doesn't make sense to or what have you. Now, Chris pointed out something while we were off air that if you're not tying into the roof line, then you can get away with different lines because you're different roof styles because you're not trying to match something.
You're not tying into it.
Yeah. Now, you also have to consider, though, do you have enough height if you don't do that? Because if you're going below the roof line, it can get short.
It can get dicey.
Yeah, if you have a deck and you're going below the roof line, you could be at 6 feet real fast if you're not.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have the appropriate depth of your deck. But covering your roof is a simple concept. There's some complexities you have to think of, moving water and stuff like that. But once you've covered it and you've decided to cover the deck, you can do pretty much anything with modern technology because we have TVs that can hang outside. They don't even need to be covered.
Outdoor kitchens, all that stuff.
So, Chris, when you've done outdoor kitchens, though, we were talking about this a little bit. So you have the outdoor kitchen under your covered roof. Joel was mentioning about smoke. If you have a smoker that's going to smoke, you've got to figure out how to move
grill, fire pit, anything.
What have you seen? How are people dealing with that, Chris? Are they putting like a fan system over it, or
what?
Over where their kitchen is?
No, it's just open to the outdoors
and let it blow through.
Let it blow through. And
I suppose that would work if you have all 4 or 3 out of 4 walls wide open. It could dissipate.
Oh yeah, you can put a fireplace in. Those are sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty sweet with a regular chimney.
Mm-hmm.
Like
actual mason.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, actual.
It doubles as a pizza oven.
Ooh, there you go.
I've seen
pizza oven outside.
That's the
that's the dream.
I don't want to.
Rob was talking about in the break how his house would be perfect. That would make it perfect.
Yes. The only hang up I have with a wood-fired pizza oven at home is if you're hungry, okay, you're going to be hungry for 45 more minutes because you have to get that up to temperature, and you can't rush nature.
Right.
It's going to take a minute.
You be prepared for that, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're really hungry,
it's not spontaneous.
You're not like,
right.
oh, hey, I'm going to make a pizza in the pizza oven.
but I will tell you, just look, I'm a pizza guy from way back. Grew up in a pizza store. If you can't get perfect dough, get a wood-fired oven. If you can't make perfect dough at home, get a wood-fired oven because it covers a lot of those mistakes because it's such a beautiful, it adds something.
The complexity of the flavor.
Yeah, I'm not knocking it. I'm saying really it's like
wood-fired pizza.
Yeah, wood-fired pizza adds something that will, if you can't make great sauce, wood-fired pizza helps you cover that.
Oh, it compensates for
It compensates. You can't get high-end cheese. It compensates for it because it's a different elevation. That's coming right from one of my favorite pizza guys on earth, Rick DeLorenzo. He's in Trenton, New Jersey. He advised that. He's like, any new pizza person in his pizza joint starts in the wood fire because it doesn't have to be perfect. It's artisan. It's got magic. He called it magic. He's Italian. It has magic on it. I mean, it's Italian accent. I can't do it. But wood fire, I don't want to go on and on. But man, get one fast if you can. Do it.
For sure.
Do it.
See, that's something you plan ahead for when you have company coming over and you get that oven up to snuff.
Yeah.
So you don't wait 45 minutes and then another 45 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because you're only doing like one pizza at a time or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it doesn't take that long.
No.
No,
Yeah.
it really, once it's up to temperature.
7 minutes and you've got a piece of charcoal. You know, just fold it over into the wood.
Yeah.
Because it's already done. But you know what's really cool about those two? Just to move on, the wood-fired oven, right? It also heats the place. It's also a really good heater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can have I've seen them where the fireplace is underneath the wood-fired pizza ovens above, and then the chimney goes out. It's almost as effective as that fireplace at heating the area because those bricks tend to get really, stay hot for a while. It's a really cool thing, but you could definitely do that while you're at it.
For sure.
And I'm not a huge fan of DIY, but if you there's lots of pretty simple DIY pizza ovens that you can make that are.
Don't do that.
But don't do it. But you could. Chimneas too. That's the other thing. If you have a pergola, like chimneas, they're more effective with a little bit of a cover than if they're just out in the open. Yeah. But I needed to get to this, and I don't want to run out of time. So you put the roof on your patio or your deck, right? Do you put soffitting under there, or do you just leave the rafter look like the?
I think you want to finish it personally. That's my.
Why? I know there's probably a specific reason.
Well,
why.
One, just it looks way better.
Right. But it probably also handles.
Well,
electric.
You want to. You'll have birds nesting. Other critters.
Yeah.
Bees,
wiring.
wasps, all these things. Wiring. Now, there have been times where we've done like the open, where you have like the tongue and groove roof sheeting. That's like a 2x6 or whatever. That's tongue and groove, so it's like a good finished look. And then and there are ways to hide wiring in your posts and whatnot so that you don't see that.
That's all we have time for. Thanks so much for listening. We'll catch you again on Measure Twice.
Podcasts by Federated Media.